Good morning, everyone. Welcome to World Speech Day.
This is Cindy.
And this is my beautiful co-host, Denise.
How are you, Cindy, today?
I'm so excited. This is my first time coming in.
I'm excited too. And how's everyone here today?
Great!
Fantastic!
What about the audience members on Zoom? How are you feeling today?
Great!
So I think, should we start officially?
Definitely, I can't wait to hear all the speeches for today.
And so, without further ado, let's welcome Ching Kwok Wing to do an opening speech.
Good morning! Good morning, world! As the organizing chair for this year's World Speech Day, Singapore 2022, let me extend a warm welcome to one and all, and especially to the guest honor for this event, Joanne Pereira, MP of Tanjong Bakar, Singapore. Today, thousands of people in hundreds of cities around the world are giving speeches to celebrate World Speech Day. And Singapore is probably the city that is the first to celebrate World Speech Day since 2016, every year on 15th of March. This year will be the 7th year running, and I'm proud to be yet again the organizing chair for this year's event. Last year, due to restrictions to physical gathering imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic, the organizing committee decided to take the World Speech Day event out of the auditorium to become hybrid, meaning only some part of the speech-making activities are held in a multipurpose hall, but the majority of the speeches are pre-recorded. But all speeches are streamed live as they are being made physically or being played on a laptop. And it turned out that that show was a great success. So, no-brainer, this year the organizing committee will want to do it again. And so here we are. We still have limitations with the resources, like hardware, software, unfortunately, but now we got experience. All right, we will do a better job this time. And in fact, what we did last year apparently impressed the founder of World Speech Day, Simon Gibson, that he is also live streaming speeches that he collects from all over the world. So Singapore has contributed one speech. Last year, Rotaractors also worked together with the Rotarians, the Toastmasters to co-host this event, and we are having that same thing. The Rotaractors will host the event in the afternoon. And but unlike last year, the Rotarians and the Rotaractors are going to contribute not just speeches, but also some songs and musics, all right, in between to spice up the event. So let me invite all of you out there watching this live stream, relax and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ching. And so, shall we invite the next speaker?
Definitely.
And the next speaker, for the keynote address, I'd like to invite Ernest Chen to come and take over the stage.
I want to make the world a home and furnish with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle dove. I want to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I want to keep it in my arms and in my company. This is the new harmony. A very good morning to our guest of honor, John Perella, Tanjung Pakal GRC MP. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, the new harmony is not new, but we can recreate a new meaning to the new harmony. We are living in a turbulent society. We are experiencing conflicts in the world. But the world is not in harmony. This is a very sad thing. We've been talking about harmony for years, for 100 years. The people who talk about harmony create disharmony in the world. So we as a citizen of the world, we have to do something. This is where WSD can come and influence the world. Speak from the heart and make the change. By the way, New Harmony is a small town in Indiana, USA. In this small town, there is a challenge for the family who sent the first children or the first child to Harvard University. Why? This farming community is very unique. The children have no interest to study. After school, they will gather in sidewalk and cafe and smoke and talk nonsense. So this particular family called the son over and have a meeting. The father said to the son, "Son, if you go to Harvard, I'll buy you a Ferrari car." "Father, you mean you're telling me that I will get a Ferrari sport car if I get to Harvard?" "Yes." Now the son wake up. He studied. Ultimately, he passed and managed to get to Harvard. "Father, I can go to Harvard. Please get the Ferrari for me." The father said, "Son, come home for dinner next Sunday. You'll see it." The son walked into the house for dinner time. Father said, "Father, I'm here to correct the Ferrari." So, the father said, "Son, I'm so proud of you. Here is the book, rhetorically speaking, for you." The son, "What is all this, father?" He threw it to the floor. "I don't trust you, parents." The son was bursting with anger. And immediately stormed out of the house and disappeared. The parents, they were so sad. Time flies. 20 years later, a neighbor, Sean, bumped into John, the son, in Indianapolis, 30 kilometers away from New Harmony. "Hey, haven't seen you for so long, for 20 years. "Yes. By the way, how's my parent?" "John, your father passed away." "Yes, your father passed away. But your mother is still around. She's living in another house. Do you want to see your mother?" "Yes." So both of them went to the mother's house. When the mother saw the son, she was crying. "John, what happened to you?" The mother brought John to the old house. As they walked into the gate, John could see the debris, the uncut grasses, were in the front lawn of the house. She opened the door. There was a very unpleasant smell from the house. As they walked in, the son looked around and saw the book still on the ground. He glanced around. The dinner table was exactly what it was 20 years ago. What's all this? He yelled to the mother. Said, yes, son. We're so disappointed they stormed out of the house. Your book is still there on the ground. Go and pick it up. The son. Why? Son, in life, we cannot be so rash in our judgment. You have to examine the book and to see the true value inside the book. Please open the book. So the son opened the book. And there was a Ferrari car key inside the book. The son was dazed, surprised. Now, you can go to the back of the house and see the Ferrari is still there. It hasn't been touched for 20 years. The son went over and saw the Ferrari car filled with dust. So the son used a hand to wipe off the dust at the bonnet of the car. And the shine of the car revealed that it hasn't been used. In life, we sometimes make a too rash judgment. The father wanted to send the son to Harvard and be the first family in New Harmony to be so proud of. But in life, it is the reaction from the emotion that creates the trouble for us. How we can match our reaction to the emotion that we have. If the heart and the head can coexist peacefully and harmonize their reaction, many of the difficult things will not have happened. My dear friend, the same thing in the world today. If powerful nations can see eye to eye, can live in peaceful existence, we won't have to worry about the war. War is very cruel. On a micro perspective, we as human beings, we must see each other deep down. Don't see the surface. The heart and the head must coexist. In this way, the world will be at peace. My dear friend, World Speech Day has been going on for this is the 7 years. We gather around to change the world with the unexpected voice from us. We know we are not powerful enough to use mic, to use other things, but we are powerful enough to use our voice. Because the voice can change the world. The voice can change yourself. The voice can change the relationship. The voice can create harmony for all of us. I'm so happy to see all of you here. You're all my old friends. I know it's not easy to get people to come on Tuesday, but we make it because of all of you believe in World Speech Day. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Highlighting and exemplifying the new definition of New Harmony. And who is coming up next, Denise?
I heard there's an honored guest.
Oh, then it's our privilege and honor to invite a Member of Parliament, Tanjung Pagar GRC, our beautiful Joan Ferreira.
Wow.
Thanks for the kind words, Cindy, Denise. Mr. Ching. Thanks for the kind words, Cindy, Denise, Mr. Ching, Ernest. That's why I really miss being here. I can sit here for hours just listening to Ernest's story. A very warm welcome to every one of you, online and also present here. I think I missed 2 World Speech Day events, and it was difficult, during these 2 years going through the pandemic, more so last year, and especially last year. I'll share with you why. Last year, if you read in the newspapers, Bukit Merah View Market and Hawker Centre was the first hawker centre cluster that faced the COVID. It was so difficult for our hawkers. Many of them had to be quarantined. Their family members had to be quarantined. Patrons, residents who visited the market and hawker centre were infected, had to be quarantined also. Our elderly were swamped with so much information, they didn't know what to do also, because they had to do mandatory swab tests, because once a block was identified as having a cluster, everyone in that block had to do mandatory swab tests. And parents had to be quarantined, leaving young children or their frail elderly at home with no one to look after. Very difficult times. And for our vulnerable elderly, and for in fact most elderly who believe in buying fresh produce to cook, couldn't get any because the market and hawker centre had to be closed for disinfection. Challenging times. And to further add to the woes, we had a driving test centre who discriminated against residents, students staying in Bukit Merah View. A delivery company refused to send parcels to residents in Bukit Merah View. So all this was very challenging, very confusing to our residents, our hawkers, and also our hawkers needed help to get all the government grants. And many of them are not able to read, not able to write. So tough times for them. And as you can see, it's really a very, very challenging period. Very down, very heart-wrenching for many of them. But during this very challenging period, a wonderful thing happened. Catering companies wrote into me, asking me if they could deliver meals daily, 3 meals a day for our vulnerable, for hawkers who are on quarantine, for our vulnerable who are not able to leave their house until the cluster is over. And if I needed more, just let them know. Health companies wrote into me, sharing that they are prepared to pack masks, mask filters, mouthwash, hand sanitizers to give to our vulnerable residents. Fellow residents stepped in to bring the elderly to do their mandatory swab tests and to help explain what they needed to do. As you all knew at that time, MOH was also swamped and they were not picking up calls. So residents were extremely confused. Many residents were so depressed. And there were strangers who even came up to me and said, MP, I want to give some cash to some residents whom I know is really feeling the heat of this whole pandemic. Can you please pass this amount of cash to certain specific hawkers? And they complimented the work of the staff, they complimented the work of the grassroots leaders in the ground, because many of the hawkers didn't know how to fill out all the forms and get all the government grants, and most of this are written in English, right? So we had to help them to make sure they get their grants in time because they had no income. So all these things really just brought the community together. And now as I think back, what is really harmony, or new harmony? What exactly it is? It's really looking at people from different backgrounds, different races, different religions, different cultures coming together to help and care for the weakest and the most vulnerable in the community. And I'm very proud to say, up to this very day, the help is still going on because the vulnerable will always be with us in the community. So when I see everyone strong, happy, and healthy, this is harmony. So I hope today you all will have a wonderful sharing session of what it means to be able to live harmoniously in this very challenging world, to be able to live peacefully in this very difficult world where situations can just change almost immediately. And we all know we are okay now, restrictions have been removed, and then suddenly the restrictions are back in place. And it's causing a lot of challenges for our residents. I think you just read in the newspapers or you read in the news. Yesterday, there was a guy who was wielding a sword attacking people. Even closer to me, in my own division, last evening, a man, a 33-year-old man, used a razor blade to attack two persons. And it's heart-wrenching because as much as I'm also concerned for the injured persons, I'm also concerned with the man who is mentally unwell. So let's reach out to them, reach out to people who need our help. There are people out there. Sometimes it just takes us to be a bit more observant, reach out to them and help them. And that's what makes us special, and that's what makes us proud to be Singaporean. So thank you very much and have a great session. Thank you.
Another round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really love what you have actually said, that every one of us could make a difference, even in this chaotic world. And peace starts from here, harmony starts from us. So next speaker, let's invite the next speaker then, should we? So Adam Hako, please adjust, Adam Hako.
My wife and I were in a taxi the other day when the Singapore government announced the new tax measures. Do you remember? Some increase in property tax, some increase in GST, goods and service tax. Also, as I was browsing through my phone to find out more details, my wife, who's Singaporean, asked, are they giving us something at least? Some GST voucher or anything like that? At this very moment, the taxi uncle, who had been silent up to now, turns around and says, excuse me, ma'am, where on earth have you ever seen a government giving anything? Their job is to take, not to give. It's funny, isn't it? Wherever you go, people complain about taxes. I'm from France, where tax rates are multiple times higher than here. So I can understand why French people sometimes complain about tax. But even in low tax jurisdictions like Singapore, people also complain. We can debate how high or low tax rates should be, but I think we can all agree that the government needs some resources for the society to live in harmony. We need to build bridges, roads, schools, the legal system, pay for the police. Otherwise, it would be the Wild West. So as far as it kills me to say this, because I'm a taxpayer, we need taxes to live in harmony. It's a bit different when you talk about taxes, not taxes, when you talk about harmony between two individuals. Taxes will not help you in that situation. When you talk about harmony between two individuals, you need to make some effort to adjust your framework. I'll give you one example. I'll tell you, once I was not feeling in harmony at all with the waiter in a restaurant. In Asia, when you finish your dish, when you finish your meal, the waiter rushes to the table and clears the dishes, right? It's considered good service. In Europe, if the waiter does that, he sends you a very different message. He wants you to leave the restaurant. For me, it was a bit difficult at the beginning when I just arrived here, about 9 years ago. I got angry with a waiter because as soon as I finish my last French fries, he comes and rushes and clears the whole thing. I thought he just wanted me to leave the place. So I look at him in a very angry look, and the poor guy did not understand. He was just trying to be kind to me, and I wanted to slap him. We were not in harmony at all. That was a great lesson for me. He taught me that, especially when you're dealing with different cultural environments, you need to adjust your framework, try to put yourself in the other guy's shoes, try to understand his intentions. In that case, his intentions were very kind. Second example, some people are more sensitive to others when it comes to punctuality, right? Being on time. I've got a colleague, Ganesh, who's a lovely fella, but he's never on time. To give you a sense, that's the guy who managed to miss his flight twice on the same day. How is that possible? You're gonna ask, I'll tell you. First time, he arrived at the airport late. Fair enough, it happens, you had a bad day. Okay. The airline put him on the next flight, which was 2 hours later. He went to the waiting area, and he still missed his flight because he fell asleep. I'm not making this up, this is a true story. The issue is, he was very relaxed about this. In a sense, he's in harmony with himself by behaving like this. But when it becomes a bit of a problem is, when he does that kind of stuff with people who are not on the same page as him, when it comes to punctuality. For example, me. Happened when we went to play for badminton. Just to give you a little bit more context, Ganesh loves eating, perhaps a bit too much, so he suggested we should exercise together. I told him, of course, I accepted gladly. It's always good to build a harmonious working environment with your colleagues, even if it's, playing badminton on the weekend. I organized the whole thing. I told him, last Saturday, 2 p.m., let's play for 1 hour. He showed up at 2:45. I was worried. Told him, Ganesh, what happened? Some emergency? Did your wife have some problem? Did your children run into, any issues? No, he said. I was having lunch. I try to use the same lesson I learned from the restaurant. I try to put myself in his shoes, try to understand his perspective, his intention. But I couldn't. What can possibly be his intention here? Not only you show up 45 minutes late to a 1 hour game, but on top of that you show up with a stuffed tummy. What did I do? Well, from that moment onward, I adjusted not just my framework, but also the schedule. Whenever I got a meeting at 3, I tell him the meeting is at 2. That works until he finds out that I trick him, but at least for now, it works. Dear friends, social harmony is a vast topic, especially as Ernest mentioned during the current times. I don't believe there is any secret recipe that can magically make all of us live in perfect harmony. However, if every one of us makes just a little bit of effort to adjust, even if it's just a little bit, try to understand the other person's perspective, it could go a long way. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Adam.
Another round of applause. All about intention. attention and perception.
The next speaker is Edmund Chu. Stay alive. Stay alive. Edmund Chu.
Staying alive.
Hollywood, John Travolta. Staying alive, they call it staying alive, staying alive. Today, 1505, 2002, Singapore, World Speech Day, Edmund Chu. Stay alive.
You're right.
Yes, when you want to stay alive, have a strategy. Think of your strategy. A, change that attitude. The U, practice yoga. That's what I'm doing. Look at me. I'm still staying alive. A, have that attitude. Learn how to have action. L, learn to unlearn to relearn. And I, use your initiative. V, be that victorious person, just like what our earlier speaker has spoken. There are many people out there. I will tell you later on how I faced and overcome my pandemic last year and before that year. E, experience. Be that elite. Be that voice that can reach out to the world. 2019, December, pandemic hit Singapore. COVID-19. I'm in the logistics. We were still running around. My friend was betting. Edmund, no problem. Cannot be. From my experience, I died 7 times. SQ06, year 2000, the flight took off. I supposed to be on the flight. I know what is it like to dissipate from this world. I was the guy that brought the Christmas tree, 70-foot Christmas tree, all the way from USA to Singapore. And there were many, many challenges. And I'm still staying alive. I run a SSME, Small, Simple, Managing Enterprise, Singapore. And I had hardly 10 staff, but I can do a 50 mega staff company. 35 years, half of my life is in logistics. Half of my life is out of Singapore, in the region. It's not easy. It's not difficult. I still came back alive. Thanks to our government. I'm an ex-SAF trained. I still today, age 65. Oh, still strong. Oh, still the energy. Oh. How you stay alive? Energy. Be yourself. I still do volunteer work in the prison counseling for 15 years. I'm a Rotarian for 25 years. I'm a Toastmasters for 20 years. And now, there are many, many more. I'm also an ex-CC member to help out. I know how is it like. 2019, when it hit COVID, many of them, I was the first batch that was quarantined. I was in Saturday and then KCC to attend a contest. Some scrap guy from Safra came. I reached home 6 o'clock. Mr. Chu, were you there just now?
Yeah.
From now onward, you cannot get out of the house. Stay at home. Wow! I was so happy. For 35 years, I never had what is leave. When you are an entrepreneur, when you're on your own, what is leave? I work 18, 20 hours, nobody knows. But when I sleep, everybody knows. So, I was so happy. Time for me to sleep at home 7 days, and my wife and my kids going to serve me. So, that was good. But my fellow Toastmasters from Linky, they were grumbling. I tell you, Edmund, I can't stick it. I cannot take it. It's crazy. I want to get out of the house. I say, hey, relax lah. What's so difficult? Why? Because we are so used to freedom. We are so used to time. We take things for granted. Every day when you wake up, what's the first thing you got to do? Open your eyes. Take a deep breath of the free air. Do you acknowledge with gratitude that we are living in this conscious planet? Do you love this conscious planet? All of us just get up, quickly brush, put on the shoes, put on the dress, out you go. No, life has changed. COVID-19 has changed the world. COVID-19 has slowed us down. Those days, without internet, oh, it was nice. Nobody know each other and we always trying to outwit each other. Today, you know something, you are in deep problem. your whole world will know you. Why? Because you can viral everybody. And I always do that, and everybody say, Edmund, must be this guy. Because I sleep early now for the last 3 years, 8:30 to 9, I go home, last screen, clean, throw the phone, and I just have a nice sleep. 4, 5, 6 a.m., I wake up, do my qigong, yoga, then I'm a cyclist, I go enjoy cycling. I'll go for a walk. 7:30, 8 o'clock, pick up my wife, go to office. The day begins. We need to rest. This structure is just like our laptop. When you go home each day, learn to delete and unfold. But when you need to charge up, you need to charge up. You cannot always store. One day the RAM will burst. Just like our body. We need to sleep. We need to rest. Why people have our eyes? Because not enough sleep. And what is it made of? All the ions. Billions and trillions of living cells in our body. So you have to treat your body with respect, because it's only one car, no spare part. So remember, stay alive. You need strategies. What kind of strategies? We are very fortunate, my dear friend. Singapore is so fortunate, just like I have been out to almost 15 countries in my past 35 years. You go to Philippines, you see the river, black. You go across just Malaysia, certain area, black. Here, turn on the tap, round the island, or water you can drink. Have a gratitude, have a heart. Be that voice, that's like what Dr. Ernest said. Try to help. My campaign, very simple. I started 2 years ago. I used to do laughing yoga. Every morning I go up, I leave my house. Before I leave my house, I say, hey, I'm going to positive charge. I'm an MPA, mental positive attributor. The minute I go down and see the lady, yeah, uncle, tough. I just say, hey, look at the insect. Ah, where? She smiled. One down. I'll meet 3 different strangers. Smile. Give them the positive energy. Give them that life. All of us, Chinese say, chong chong mang mang, rush here, rush there, rush here, rush there. At the end, long piang, hit the wall. You go to hawker center. This idiot guy never pay me. Why like that? Never pay me. Then I just say, auntie, you do the what? Hula dance. Myself like crazy. He laugh. Oh, I hit my target. Every day, I make 3% laugh. Walking or cycling. I purposely cycle to the guy and say, why you look at me? You never smile. You know how he smile? Laughing is the best medicine. As a practitioner of laughing yoga, learn to laugh. Now, all stand up. I want to teach you how to laugh. Come on, stand up. Put the energy in there. Come on. Okay. That's very simple. Just say ho. 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 Just say ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Ho, ha. Ho, ha. Ho, ha. Sit down. You see the energy that you have? Hey, you look at this young man. I'm still young at heart. I'm still shining. I tell you, I got almost 3 stem cells in my body, but I managed to love myself until the stem, the doctor say you don't need. Okay, so very important. Stay alive. Have a strategy. If you don't have, talk to me later, I'll tell you how. I'm a man of many strategies. I just draw them. Okay, T, think of a way. The world haven't come on yet. A, have that action. Anthony Robbins said, first thing, have an action. You, practice the yoga. Just like YMCA. Okay, very important. Have that urge to stay. And A, have that attitude. Change that attitude. Right? L, learn to unlearn and relearn. I, use your initiative. V, you are the victorious person. You are the champion. No need others. You are yourself a champion. And A, very important. The last word, really you must learn to act. And E, very important, experience all these things. Why I can only tell you many more energies that I'm going to put on. Stay alive. And really, it's an honor. I miss her for the last 2 World Speech Day. Last year I wasn't here. The other years we were here in YMCA. It's really an honor. And I really see old friends. And Dr. Honest, it's very good to see you and the rest. When I say World Speech Day 15, I already mark on my diary. I'm the first one to be here.
Yeah.
This morning. And I always have this habit.
In fact, you were here last night already.
Because I always have that mental attitude. When you are positive, you can reach out. You can reach out. You can reach out to many, many people out there that need to learn. Right now, Western world is having problem. Eastern world. Never mind. Take care of ourselves. Learn, fellow Singaporeans. Learn to get gathered together. Alright? And back to you. You should be here. You should be here.
Thank you, Uncle Ed. You are always inspiring us, especially once he once told me, it is not about the number of breath you take. It is about the number of breathtaking moments you create. Our next speaker is Jessica Chi, Conscious Planet, Safe Soil. Conscious Planet, Safe Soil, Jessica.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
morning. I'm so glad I'll be here today. And then my title for today is Conscious Planet, Safe Soil. I like this word, unexpected voices. And Ernest just mentioned, our voices can change the world. That's really very true. And now we need your voices. Why? Because Conscious Planet, Safe Soil is a movement. It's a global movement initiated by Sadhguru. He needs to get 193 countries together and need 3.5 billion people voices to do what? To save soil. Okay, when I get this information, I was shocked. And save soil? Singapore don't have much soil. So I don't have much information about soil. And when I share with my friends, save soil, like very far away, really far away. But when we heard about SG Green Plan 2030, straight away we clicked. Yes, climate change, reduce carbon footprint, reduce waste, and plant more trees, and plant more trees. Oh, yes, this is something we can do. And why save soil? Food security. Because Singapore, we don't have much soil and we don't plant our food, right? I mean, we don't create our food. So we depend on our neighboring countries to supply us food. So we need to concern a little bit or pay more attention about the soil, what's happening now. If let's say the global soil is dying, food will extinct. Human will be extinct as well. But before human extinct, we will go to war first, food war. So when I share this with my friend, they say, oh yeah, Singapore don't have soil, but we need food. So if we need food, 95% of our food come from soil. So we need to take note about this. And a group of us, like other people, come together. We form ourselves as Green Buddies Singapore. So we are a group of people that wants to support our national movement, Green Plan, and as well as Conscious Planet, Safe Soil movement. So how to support Conscious Planet, Safe Soil movement? Very easy. We just need your voice. You just need to sign up, your name and your number and your contact. That's it. You are a part of 3.5 billion already. We need the voices because Sadhguru, he is going to talk to 193 countries' leaders to come together to change the policy or to improve the policy to save soil. But we need people to join this, to support this, otherwise it will not work. And we only have about 10 to 20 years to get this done. If after this, it will be too late. We might pay a very high price. Yeah. A bit. Because we don't want our children to face this. The soil has 16 more years to go.
You are doing well. Keep it up. Great job.
Okay, so safe soil, okay? Because Singapore is multiracial.
Save
Salt.
I thought you said oil.
Singapore boy. Save Singapore boy.
Yeah.
Save Singapore boy.
Yeah. Okay, because it's multiracial, so we have our multi-languages. So it is 拯救土壤. Okay. Selamat kan tanah. Okay. Okay. Anybody can. Miti Macau. So I hope all of you can join us. So when I was sharing with my friend, they asked me, so just sign up. What else can I do? What can I do? Okay, then I have to think of something. Okay, what can we do? Okay, so then I suggest to them, okay, Monday, let's go plant-based. Okay?
Vegan.
Plant-based, Monday only, not every day. We suggest, I know meat eaters a bit difficult. My son, he's a meat eater. Oh my god, he every day can chicken rice. Three meals he can take chicken rice. Oh my god, I also have headache. But then, if let's say me alone doing it, 1 week, 1 day, the strength is too small. We cannot do anything. We cannot change anything. But can you imagine if Singapore, we don't talk about the whole population, we talk about half of the population, maybe 3 million people, Monday all plant-based, just 1 meal. I mean, that is a great difference we can make, right? And why? Because go plant-based, because now the livestock, there's report, the livestock actually is about 56 billion livestock is being slaughtered to feed 7.5 billion people. It's 8 times more. And now the report says that 800 million people are on hunger, no food to eat. And 2 billion people are under nutrition deficiency. Why? Because the soil is dying and is way below the healthy mark. To have a healthy soil, we need the topsoil to have 3 to 6% of the organic matters to keep the soil alive. But now most of the soil in the world right now, half of it is already extinct, degraded. The other half we still can use, but it's all below the healthy marker. In India, only 2.5%. The healthy marker is there. It's way below 3. And in US, UK also is about 2. So that's why now they said, last time when we take 1 orange, the vitamin C is sufficient for us, for our body needs. But now we need to take 8 oranges. Can you take 8 oranges a day? I don't think so, right? So that is the reason why our health all is in the issue. Children, their health is in issue because of this nutrition deficiency. It's due to the soil. So when the soil is not healthy, whatever you plant, can it be healthy? No, it will not. And when we humans consume it, do we have enough nutrition? No. So now we really need to support our neighboring countries or whatever we can so that we can save the soil, use the organic matter to save it. Why the soil degraded? Because of the chemical that is being largely used, and after some time the soil died. So now we hope to get 3.5 billion to come on board to support us and also to make this happen. And now come back to the locals. What can we do? Monday, plant-based, okay? Why plant-based? As I said already, we can reduce our meat supply, demand, and then the supply will reduce. And you can go vegan like today, okay? I packed a plant-based breakfast, all right? And then with our reusable container, yeah. So Wednesday, what we can do? We go car-free day and then cycle, right? We can cycle. Okay, I cycled from Tanah Merah to here this morning.
You cycle from Tanah Merah. This is your bicycle.
Almost about 20 km.
Wow.
Can see. Let me. Oh, my bicycle.
You do that.
Yeah.
You change the whole thing already.
Is it?
Carry on. No.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so we are encouraging people.
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So we are encouraging people to cycle more.
Oh, this one.
Oh, sorry. And because our Singapore plan has already planned to extend 1,320 km of the park connector, PCN. And I think that is really great. Because we cycle twice a week around Singapore, and it's beautiful. Singapore is really beautiful. And with all the greens, the parks, I would encourage all of you to try. Really, it's very, very nice. And we also can cycle to work. And then now we have a lot of foldies bike where you can just fold your bikes into like a small luggage, even smaller than stroller, right? You can just park beside your working place, or even you can go up to MRT. You can go shopping mall as well with the foldies. So we try everything and it's really fun. Okay, Friday is reduce waste day. So what can we do? All right, take your utensil, recycle so that you can reduce waste. So this is something that we can do right now. Of course, plant trees. Anyway, if everyone plant extra one plant in your office or at home, wow, 3 million people, there's a lot as well. And then we can of course contribute to carbon footprint reduce. So this is something that we can do. And I really hope that all of you can come on board and support us. So remember, Conscious Planet, Safe Soil. Monday, plant-based day. Wednesday, car-free day, go cycle. Friday, reduce waste day. Let's join us. Thank you.
Each one.
Yeah, and also each one, which one. Let us reach out to everyone and get everybody on board. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica. Now I'm on board. I'm the proponent of plant-based diet. Who else want to join me? Our next speaker is Stanley Go.
Yeah.
Body harmony.
Yeah.
Body harmony. Stanley Go.
Thank you. A very good morning to all. Cheng, Ernest, and of course, our MP here. I've not seen you for a couple of years. Glad to see you back. Today is the new harmony, but I'm going to talk about something that concerns us. All of us believe that we can make a difference in this world. But in order to make a difference in this world, I would like to focus on ourselves first. This is the most basic. So I just want to know, by understanding ourselves more, you'll be very aware of what's around you. I don't know how many of us really understand ourselves. I just give you an example. When you're sitting down, suddenly you feel that a mosquito landed here. What happened next? Right? Unconsciously, you just do this, right?
Really?
But do you know what happened inside your body? Have you ever wondered what happened inside your body?
Very happy.
This is a very harmonized structure. So harmonized that all of us take for granted. You see, when the mosquito landed here, the sensors pick it up, send a message, neurotransmitter to the brain, telling you something is attacking you, right? Brain has to go through the brain bank to find out a solution for you. Next thing he said, hit it. That's a message that's sent down. So in order to hit it, where? He has to send a signal to the right part of your body, hand has to move, and come down. For this to happen, muscle here has to contract, here has to relax. Happen in thousands of seconds. You see how harmonized this structure is. All of us were born with babies. We are given a certain set of attributes in our body that works automatically, that we take for granted. Our heart beats. You cannot say stop beating. You can't, right? It's there. We breathe. Our digestive system works. Everything, blood flows. Everything is also automatic that we don't even bother to understand. Right? So we take for granted. So when I relate this to society, when a kid is born, the structure, the infrastructure of the whole society is all there. Their parents, their government, everything is there. They take for granted that this will function like our body quietly functioning. Our body can take a lot of abuse, but society can't. And when a baby is born, there are certain things that we internally is inside there already. There are all these automatic things. But the value we have to impart, the value we have to teach, right? Value. So likewise, in society, the value of the citizens we have to teach. We have to make sure how people become more empathy, about concern, about love, about all this. We have to really impart all this knowledge. And it's not just something, these kind of skills can be transferred. We can't transfer. So every generation has to learn. Like every baby has to learn how to eat. I cannot say, parent, I'll transfer the eating skill to you. You can't do that, right? I can only give you the DNA, that make all your organs function. Right? And now our body is so harmonized that they even have two sets of nerves. One is sympathetic, one is parasympathetic. May will know what I'm talking about because we have a medical person sitting there. You see, this set of nerves is so wonderful, that you know one set of nerve will tell you you need to do something. Another set of nerve said no. I give you a very good example. When we drink a lot of water, our bladder is full. What happens? We get a signal from our brain. You need to go to the toilet, right? You need to go to the toilet. But urine will not come out. Urine will not come out, right? Because one set of nerve telling you you need to go to the toilet. But another set telling you don't release yet. Okay? But once you get into the toilet, you are ready. What happens? The other set of nerve will take over. You release your urine. So you see how these two sets of nerve coordinate? So this is a very harmonious structure. So just imagine if a society can be like that. It's talking about balance and control. So sometimes when you're fully aware of how your body works, then you will more appreciate of how this society functions. Then you understand why certain people do certain things. You have once you realize this, then you know how to coexist because our body organs are all interdependent. The heart cannot say, I don't give you blood, I just stop pumping, I don't give you blood, you die, you know. The digestive says, I don't digest food, you don't get nutrients. The mouth says, I don't eat. That's it, you don't get anything. So all the organs, they have to interreact to make this body function. So as a society, as a world, it's the same. Right? So actually, in order to really try to change the world, let's pay more attention to ourselves. Okay? Once you understand how our body really works, then you get more appreciate of how the rest of the organs in the so-called universe works. Then from there you appreciate why this guy is doing this, why this guy is doing that. You become very tolerant. You empathy. You become like what saving the earth. All that you understand. Because the earth is doing this. I don't get nutrients. For myself. So this is what's going to hit me directly, right? Once you say, if I don't get the nutrients for myself, I'm going to age. This body is being designed to last for 120 years. Right? 120 years, designed. But because along the way, disease, the word disease comes from D-I-S and ease, E-A-S-E, disease. So that means your body is not at ease. That means your body is not in harmony with all the organs, not in harmonized matter. So disease comes. Right? So imagine if your body is harmonized in the right way, you can enjoy doing what you can do when you're young. I'm proud to say all our audience, all our adults, I'm proud to say that I'm reaching 66. I'm 65, 3 more months to be 66.
All right.
And yet, every week, once or twice I'll play badminton. Not badminton, not badminton. I'll play badminton. Okay, once or twice at my age, 66. Imagine. So if your racket is not broken, a couple of loose strings, talk to me. I don't have it. If your racket is broken, sorry, I can't help you. So imagine, if you have a harmonized body, you can enjoy what you love to do when you're young, continue the activities, right? So it's like the world, the same thing. Like a world, like a society, the same thing. If the society is very harmonized, the world, this country will last forever. And sometimes, when I read newspaper, this guy is complaining, this guy is complaining, I just wonder, if they have understand their own body a little bit more, they will appreciate, why the authorities are doing this. Why are we doing this? Because always talking about balance and control, right? Some of you understand the yin and yang, right? Yin and yang. Yin and yang is a balance between yin and yang because where does it start, where does it end? Nobody knows, right? When does really the morning start and when the night ends? Nobody knows. Because it just go round and round, yin and yang go round and round. So it's talking about balance and control, right? When the water gets too hot, the water gets too warm, we use a fire to heat it up, right? But the fire gets too big, we get water to kill it. Okay? This is talking about yin and yang. So always there's a control and there's a balance. So we should take a look at the whole society as control and balance. And right now the earth is very sick. Okay? Because why? We lost control. We don't, because if you understand the 5 elements, this is a bit tough for you. 5 elements, how the 5 element works. is a whole round circle. It's about yin and yang. You know, 5 elements, those who are very familiar, I just touch a bit. 5 elements make out of what? Wood, water, fire, metal, and earth. You see, a tree will need water water will make the tree grow, right? Tree will make the fire burn bigger, right?
Right.
Fire can turn everybody to ashes to the soil, right?
Right.
For the earth, we get metal, right?
Right.
Metal can make into axe to cut down a tree, right?
Right.
So this is I call it is a sort of supplementing control. Supplement, that means they help each other to progress, right? But when it comes to fire, water can kill it, right?
Right.
Fire can melt metal, right?
Right.
Metal can cut down trees, right?
Right.
Trees can poke through the earth, right?
Right.
So you see, in a very few, these 5 elements, there is a supplementing and there is the control. So once you understand all this structure, appreciate it, look inside you, how this structure function, right? Then you will have a better understanding of how this whole world function. Then you'll be very aware of your surrounding. It's always the awareness. Once you have the awareness, then you start trying to make a change, trying to influence people. So if people are not aware, you can try until the boo or whatever comes back, they will not change. Okay? So it's a matter of creating awareness. And I'm glad that World Speech Day, every year I'm participating, this is what we're talking about. Creating awareness to make sure that everybody being aware of what's going on. But for today, my focus is be aware of yourself. So look after this structure. Your parents give you this structure, look after it, treasure it. Because this is the one that will make you function. And so when you're alive, then you can do a lot more things. If you're dead, nothing you can do. So I always part with my say, be aware of yourself, because why? From my health talk I give it to people, I always have two things to tell people. Always look after yourself for your loved ones. Never look after yourself for yourself. Because if you look after yourself, you take for granted next day, right? But I want you to have something in mind that I will look after myself for my loved ones. That is something you should get into your brain. Why? Because when I'm in a coma lying on the bed, I don't know anything. Who suffers? Your loved ones. Your loved ones, right? They are the one, could be looking after you, sleepless night, worried, finance, everything. So always look after yourself for your loved ones. Second thing, if you think wellness is expensive, try sickness. You one day stay hospital, probably you can have nutritional supplements for a couple of months. And nutritional, please eat something good one. Okay, so these are kind of things that I'm very focused, because I've been in wellness for the last 20 years. Because of my own personal health last time. So as a society, we have to look after this world, not for the loved one, for our younger generations. So you see the relation between your body and the world. We look after ourselves for our loved ones. We look after the world for our next generation.
Yes. Yes.
So that is my message today.
Okay.
I'm glad to be part of this again. Thank you.
Thank you, Stanley. The next speaker is Patrick Monopoly Wee, with the speech title, Why I'm Mr. Monopoly. Why I'm Mr. Monopoly? Patrick Monopoly Wee.
Yeah.
The free gift. Can I have somebody help me move this further back? Sorry.
We cannot move further because you're going to show too much.
Oh, okay.
Hey, don't move the camera.
Okay, like this?
Yeah, excellent.
No need a free from the heart. That's the best.
Allowed to remove mask?
Free from the heart. The heart will tell you. Heart and mind. All.
How many of you here know your ABCs?
A, B, C.
Okay, well done, well done. We all know it since 3-year-old, right? Kindergarten, they taught us. How many of you can recite it backwards?
No way. No way.
Okay, I asked 1,000 people, I think only one. Okay, not easy. Myself included, so make that 2, but I'm the second 1,000. So I'm going to do something because there's Ernest who sang a song, there is Edmund who does the ABC, ALIVE, right? So here goes. ZYXWVUTXRQPONNLKJIHGFEDCDA, so easy. Why am I Mr. Monopoly?
You play Monopoly game.
Correct. I am the national Monopoly champion and still reigning because since 2009, there's no other local Monopoly championship. Okay, so I'm not here to teach you how to play Monopoly or be a champion, but in any business you do, I don't know what business you are in, but if you are number 1 in your client's mind, who will they come to if they need somebody in your business to service them? You. Yeah, so how do you be number 1 in people's mind? So if without thinking hard, if I ask you to name, and all of you name your favorite soft drink or aerated waters now.
Water.
Aerated water, soft drink.
Dasani.
Okay, Coke. Okay, Coke. Why Coke? Because Coke has a jingle, and just it uses the jingle that Ernest opened with. What was the song?
I like
To teach the
world to sing in perfect harmony.
Okay, thank you. So Coke borrowed that jingle and said, I like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company, because relationship is actually one of the top 5 in Maslow's hierarchies. So I came up with my own jingle, which says, HUTTONS, we help you buy property. One wrong move, you lose money. One right move, you make plenty. Hey! Hey! Sell! HUTTONS, we help you sell property. One wrong move, you lose money. One right move, you make plenty. Thank you. Go City. Hey! Go City. Not bad. This audience is fabulous because you will benefit most if you participate. So to those that never participate, whatever I say, okay, like for example, I'm going to say, who knows what the game Monopoly is? Please raise your hand.
Yeah.
Well done. Who doesn't know what the game Monopoly is? Okay, 1. But there are some who didn't raise their hand. So is it true that for you, whatever I say, you will not raise your hand, right?
Right.
Yeah. Trick question. So to get people to participate more, I will need to say this. My Japanese teacher taught me this. He will say, Minasan. Anybody know what that means?
Everyone.
Yes, Minasan, everybody. So whenever that keyword, that is the trigger word, he said, Minasan. And he said, how would you like to have $1 million today?
Oh, shoot that thing.
Yes, right? Everybody will say yes. So if you don't get it, so next time I say, Minasan, I want you all to do a double clap. Yes, Minasan.
Yes.
All together, Minasan.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your cooperation. You will benefit because I'm going to give you $1 million.
Wow.
Okay? Ask Banteng, ask Rihanna, did I give you $1 million?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you like to have $1 million?
Yes.
Minasan.
Yes.
One more time. Would you like to have $1 million? Minasan.
Yes.
Not everybody leh. So, okay. In that case, I won't give up now. Those who want $1 million, come and see me after my speech. Okay. Why I got into this business? Okay, because my parents couldn't afford to put me through university. So I had to quickly turn, and I made it to NUS, and at that time, computer science was one of the rare subjects that started, and in order to be in computer science, you have to be the top 5% in your aptitude test or IQ score. So I got in, but my folks say no money. After NS, go find a job. So I said, never mind, I find my own money. But what do I do? What should I do? So I said, okay, what better business to be in than the top richest people in Singapore? What is their business? Because if I went into their business, then the chances of me being a millionaire is higher than the rest of the business. So there's one quotation that hit me when I read a book, and it says 90% of all millionaires became so through real estate. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Only a few, right? Because in my mind, I was saying, BS! How can out of 10 people, 9 of them are all real estate millionaires? All of them builders, developers, road makers, supply cement, steel, sand. Cannot be. So I said, okay, I'm going to disprove this. Because if I can't disprove this, then that statement is correct. And I bloody hell, I jolly well go into real estate, right? So I googled the top 10 richest men in Singapore. And guess what? I found that 8 of them, was it 8? Singapore, there were 7 of them who were rich, millionaires because of real estate. But there were 3 who were not. Who were the 3? Number 1 was somebody called Sim Wong Hoo. Anybody know who Sim Wong Hoo is? Creative. He built a computer called Cubics, did well, reinvested the money, did the sound card, did well, and
Sound blaster.
Sound blaster. And he didn't lose everything. Apple infringed on his intellectual property.
Right.
He sued Apple for 100 million. He won the court case, and that year when I googled, his bank account grew by 100 million. So he became number 1, not real estate. Who the other 2? OCBC and UOB chairman. So I said banking, what? So like, yeah lah. But 7 out of 10, not bad, right? It's already a no-brainer. But if you look through, I drove past Tanjung Katong, I drove past Tanjung Pagar, I always see a sign, for rent, OCBC properties. Then I went to Raffles Place, I saw the very tall office building, UOB Plaza, 1 and 2. Wow! So I looked through and said, yeah, their akong, their grandfather, came to Singapore early days, built Boat Quay, built Tanjung Pagar shop houses, left it to their children. The children and grandchildren collateralized this property to lend you, and you, me, money to buy real estate, do our businesses. And from there, their money grew. So are they really purely bankers, or are they became millionaires because of real estate?
Yes. Real estate.
So if you add the 7 plus 2, 9. I said, my God, is that only in Singapore? Maybe only Singapore, right? Cannot be true. But the guy who quoted this was Andrew Carnegie. 90% of all millionaires became so through real estate. So, I still wanted to disprove this. They call in Hokkien, Wei Kei. So, I went to Google the top 10 richest men in the world. Easier to disprove, right? Guess what? 8 of them were in real estate. Only 2. Who were the 2? At that time, number 1, Warren Buffett, the stock whiz kid.
Yes. Berkshire.
Berkshire. Okay, he's in the papers recently. There's some videos circulating recently about him. Number 2, Bill Gates. Who was he? Microsoft. He actually didn't invent the OS. He borrowed or paid somebody for the OS, improved it, and became a billionaire. So the others were all real estate. I said, my God, 8 out of 10. Very good. Should be a no-brainer. But I went to research some more. Microsoft, confirmed, not real estate. But Bill Gates, he started off, if I remember correctly, with $1,000, and he invested in a company that time worth 1 cent, so his $1,000 can buy 100,000 shares. And that company grew, and in the 3 short years, the 1 cent company was worth $100. So how much was his $1,000 worth? 1 cent to $1,000. No, 100 million. So your $1,000 became 100 million. So is he a stock investor or is he a real estate investor?
Stock investor.
True real estate, right? Because without investing in that company, he wouldn't have 100 million in the 3 years, and then he went on to invest in Cadbury, in furniture stores, and all that. So with that, I say, okay, no brainer. I must. Some lady say I must increase my bus, but I must become or get involved in real estate in order to make money to pay school fees to graduate. So I went in. And guess what? In my first year of NUS, I started a tuition agency with my then girlfriend, now my wife. And we recommended tutors to homes. So we rented this small little space. Unit number was 0414 Upper Serangoon Shopping Centre. People say 4 no good, I tell you not true. Huh? My house now is also with the number 4. But anyway, I was paying $500 rentals. And after 2 years, lease is up, the owner says, hey, I'm going to sell my shop. Can I show? I said, yeah, it's your shop, but how much are you selling? He said, 60,000. So I told him that, look, in my mind, mental maths tell me 500 a month, a year is 6,000. 10 years is 60,000. So in 10 years, I already rented 2. I just have to do 8 more. I will have owned it free and clear. I don't have to pay rent anymore. Simple math. So I said, hey, I don't have 60,000, but without knowing how to buy real estate, without knowing I need a lawyer, without knowing I have to pay 10% and then 100%, 90% in 3 months, I said, will you sell it to me? But I don't have the money. Then he said, give me an offer. I said, will you consider 50,000? Because I figured it's more than 10% off, almost 20%. And he said, okay. Then I said, what must I do? He said, okay, give me 5,000, you pay the rest through your lawyer. So I did that. Next week, I sold it for a $10,000 profit. So pay 5,000, take back 15. Good or good?
Good.
Good. So that's how I do. Okay. Now, however, everything you do, there's a disclaimer. Buying property is like playing with fire. If you don't know what you're doing, you will surely get. Oh, sorry. This one, there is a little bit of a technical hiccup. Correct. Let me try this. If you know what you're doing, you will never get burned.
Wow.
Okay? So they say start with a bang, end with a bang. So today I'm going to end with a bang by shooting myself. Thank you very much. Move the camera back.
Thank you, Patrick. And who wants to be the millionaire? Can you remember, ladies and gentlemen? Minasan!
Minasan!
Yes! You are
Anyone
the
wants $1
millionaire.
million? See me later.
The next speaker is John Chan.
John, please, John.
With the speech title, The 3 R's. The 3 R's, John.
Friends, after that $1 million talk, I am going to concentrate on something very small. Ever since I was born, I've been fascinated with a small mammal that I found everywhere I went. Can you guess what the small mammal was? It's a clue. You can find it in your home. You can find it in the kitchen. You can find it in the basement. You can find it under the roads. What is that small mammal? A rat. A rat is an animal that has fascinated me all the years of my life. You see, I was born in the year of the rat.
Oh.
I was born in 1948.
Wow.
And since then, I have discovered, I have examined, I have researched, and found the rat is a very resilient animal. First of all, the rat is a very resourceful animal. second out. And the rat is a very remarkable animal. So you can understand why I'm remarkable, I'm resourceful, and I'm resilient. When my mother had me, she was born in 1924. It was the year of the rat.
Wow.
And I learned from her how important it was to be the kind of person she was. Because she had no education. She came from Malaysia. She only spoke Malay and Teochew. She didn't speak a word of English. And we lived in a kampong. Well, those were great days. Those were days where we didn't go to school. We hoped the rain would come because we would run in the rain, we would play with the mud, and it was a wonderful time. But I realized that those days cannot bring you success, cannot raise a family, cannot give you a good life. So it was important that we went to school. And in school, I learned my first lesson on how to be resilient. You see, I had a form master in school. His name was Ernest Lau.
No, I'm not Chinese.
He was born in 1936. Another rat. And he helped me, he coached me, he gave me so much empathy, and he inspired me. The use of language, the power of language, the beauty of language. And I became a very, very eloquent, a very speaker. And I learned English, and English has made me who I am today.
Wow.
The Toastmasters have always the language evaluated. Why? Because they knew that when I listened carefully. I listen with my ear, and I know how to dissect and relook at the way language is spoken. Now, the new harmony means you must be resilient. And language is a way to make you resilient, because if you know language, you know how to communicate, you can get anywhere in the world, you can work from anywhere in the world. Nowadays, you don't have to work in Singapore and make lots of money. So that's how you be resilient. But let me go on to the next R, resourcefulness. If you look at the rat has many, many kids and grandkids. The rat has two clusters every year. Each cluster is 6 to 8. So you see there's 16 every year. Now, apply that to the Singapore population and you'll be wonderful. If everyone here in Singapore is like the rat, my God, we will be running the entire ASEAN region. Do you agree? Yes. But the problem for us is that we are not rats. And we don't learn how rats perform, because rats are very crafty. Rats are very nimble. Rats are very hardworking. And rats are very industrious. If you do not doubt me, go look in the F&B kitchen. Before you have your meal, walk into the F&B kitchen. You will surely find a rat. Yes, because they will be everywhere. They are remarkable animals. They're all over the world, on the ships, in the aeroplanes, in the industrial factory, under the road, because rats can stand out of all the animals. But I am impressed because there are many people in the world who are very remarkable, and very resourceful, and very resilient. Just study their lives and always look for the rat in them. Because always born in 12-year cycles. Let me just share with you a couple of rats that I've studied. And I find that it is so important. Pope Francis was a rat. He says, the less you respond to negative people, the more peaceful your life is. Save only those that give you twinkles in your eyes, not wrinkles in your face. A wise rat indeed. Another rat person was Mandela. Mandela was a very resilient person. If you know his story, you know how much he suffered, right, throughout his life before he became recognized. And he said this, "Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by the numerous times I fall and get back up again." That's Mandela. Okay. Now, I pause to ask you, how many of you in this room are rats? Wonderful. One? One more? One more. Right. Now, there you know what I'm talking about. Right? Now, a resourceful rat is Galileo. Galileo was born in 1564. You count back, it's also a rat. He was a physicist, he was an engineer, he was a scientist, he was an astronomer, and he searched the stars, he discovered, he was curious. And James Cook, the explorer, born 1728, another rat, a seafarer, a seaman. I think you know the point I'm making now. All of us in this new harmony must have these three attributes: resourceful, resilient, remarkable. If you don't stand out and you don't use these three R's, it's very difficult to survive in this new world. Because in this new world, you have to be better than the other person, especially in Singapore. You know, Singapore is a merciless place. You agree?
No.
It's merciless because in terms of competition, you really have to ace it. Is it true? It's true. Right. But if you are a rat, you can know how to ace it. Because you can be in any other place. You don't have to be in that same place. Because you can scurry around, right? Find little holes to hide in. And above all, you can be who you want to be. I love reading, and the latest book I'm reading is James Dyson. Born 1 year short of being a
The
rat.
vacuum cleaner man.
The vacuum cleaner man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
And-
come and vacuum.
Yes. And he is a designer
Yeah.
and an engineer.
Innovation.
Things innovative. Got the word right. Right. Innovative.
Yeah.
And his message to young people all over the world, especially in Singapore, because he's here in Singapore. And he's opening to all young people in Singapore,
You're right.
be engineers, be creative, right? Be innovative. Because once you have these three, you can conquer the world. Because you're not satisfied with the status quo.
You're right.
You're not satisfied with what you are. And this is what new harmony is.
Correct.
We never must be satisfied with who we are.
Yeah.
Right? I am born in the year of the rat.
You are right.
And the year of the rats, all the rats will forever be your resourceful, remarkable, and resilient people. Thanks to all of you.
Hey, Tiger is speaking this afternoon. Stay on, stay on, stay on.
What is the three R's? Can you remember?
Resourceful.
Resourcefulness. Resilience. Remarkable. And we don't have to be the rat to
Thank you.
practice these attributes.
John, you from the best is yet to be.
Yes.
The best is yet to be,
And ladies and gentlemen, if you want a rat baby, it's a time for you to plan. It's another 10 years.
Yeah.
Next, we have Aaron Quack, the new harmony. The new harmony.
Aaron is outside with the MP.
Okay, let's skip with Aaron and let's start with, let's have the next speaker, Tan Mei Yan. Big Cat, Black Swan, Tan Mei Yan. Is that okay?
You go after
stay in Singapore.
To your left.
Ready,
To your
Maya?
left. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Very good. Very good.
Thanks. I watched, mesmerized, a pair of graceful swan bathed in the golden glory of the sunset. I was sprawled on the grassy patch with the gentle evening breeze brushing my face. I had just retired. I'm now free.
Yeah.
I am my own boss. I can do what I like, anytime, anywhere. But today, I'm enjoying myself in this beautiful, scenic, and tranquil Singapore Botanic Gardens,
Wow.
a World Heritage. Hi, man, is that you? I turned to the direction of the familiar voice. I looked up and saw my cousin, Lena, peering down on me. I'm not sure. It's really you, Mia? What are you doing here? Relaxing, my dear Lena. I'm enjoying myself, watching that pair of beautiful swans on the lake, enjoying the beautiful sunset. What about you? How are you? Lena heaved a heavy sigh and sat down beside me. What are we going to do, man? I'm really at the end of my tether. The ongoing pandemic, COVID, and now this stupid war in Eastern Europe, the Ukrainians, the Russians, the Western world, US, Europe, everyone is driving me mad. And tears welled up in her eyes. I put my arm gently on her shoulder, trying to comfort her as she sobbed into her hands. I cradled Lena and silently listened as she poured her heart out. Oh man, my business, my life is now upended. I can't complete those projects. My clients are going to kill me. I can't collect my outstanding payments from the projects I have completed. I am stuck. The stocks of materials I ordered are stuck in the ports, in the warehouses. I can't continue. Oh dear. I sat silently and listened as Lena poured her heart out. Her pain has jolted me out of my complacency, my not being aware of the realities out there in the world now. I felt guilty about enjoying myself when there are so many other people like Nina out there. I recollected how Lena and I grew up together, happy and free as children. But as we married,
and pursued our careers. We led quite separate lives, and it has been some time before I met up with her. Today's unexpected meeting in this tranquil, serene environment brought me down to the reality of the world today. The volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity, the ambiguity of the environment, local, regionally, and the world. Mayan, you are watching those elegant swans on the lake. I am haunted by this big, bad, black swan. I don't know how to get it out of my mind. I really don't know why people want to be so selfish. Why are the Russians invading Ukraine? Why are the US fanning this flame? Why do the Europeans boycott economically Russia? Why? Why don't they know that these impacts are not just for their countries? It's on me and everyone like me, small, medium enterprises trying to earn a living in this world. I reflected and kept quiet. But in my mind, I started to think, is this the proverbial elephant in the room? Everyone has been talking about an impending war. My colleagues, my friends, my associates, the bankers, the marketers, the financial experts, everyone told me that, yes, there's a threat, but hold on. There's light in the tunnel. There will be no war. The market, in the stock market, continued to rise as the real world impact set in, but nobody took notice. Inflation rose, goods and services became more expensive, prices for ordinary citizens are rising like nobody's business. The prices of food, basic necessities, are getting out of hand. My bowl of wonton noodle, which cost $3 just a week ago, now costs me $4 from the same store and smaller in size and quantity and quality. When I asked the hawker uncle why this is so, he heaved a sigh and said, "Oh dear, you didn't know. The vegetables I put into your noodle now cost double the price I used to pay 1 month ago." Why? Shortage of supplies. The pandemic caused such severe disruption to the supply chain, even our neighbors from Malaysia can't send in the vegetables to us. The climatic change, the floods, the fires, the wildfires, and the pandemic, the lockdowns. My dear, don't you know what's happening around you? I am, because I'm on the ground. You folks living up in the condominiums, driving your cars every day, don't really feel it, do you? But yes, I do. The petrol prices are climbing like mad. A liter of just ordinary 95 octane has climbed. I now have to pay almost $4 a liter at some of the petrol stations to just fill up my tank so that I can drive from A to B. You
You only know about luxury, driving your car, going from place to place without having to have the hassle of public transport is a luxury. Imagine me at my age having to lug my goods to the store at 5 a.m. every morning using public transport. I have to get up early, I cook, I serve you. And you are telling me I'm trying to fleece you because I raised my price from $3 to $4? Oh dear. Then I heard Lina's voice again. Man, what? What can I do? Is my life coming to an end? Will this big, bad, black swan ever go away? I really have no solution. But I really hope and pray that the leaders of this world will have to come to their senses. The threat of a World War III has been circulating in various social media platforms. The threat of a nuclear war, if any of these irrational leaders are to press the wrong button, will the world we live in vanish? Oh dear. What a big, bad black swan, casting its immense shadow on every aspect of our life. Can we do something to regain some sense of control over our lives without it spiraling out of whack, wreaking havoc to our families, our friends, the community, and the world? I patted Lina on the shoulders and said, "Shh, I think we can have some new harmony. Will you stop worrying so much and think out of the box? What can you do?" Lies in how you see what you see. It depends on your mindset and how you can regain some control and regain the new harmony in your life. Your husband is a career civil servant. His job is not in jeopardy. Your business may have to be put on a hold for a while. But look at opportunities. What else can you do besides this interior decoration business you're in? Can you get new credit lines from your bankers? What are your assets that you have? Any real estate you can use as collateral to gain some financial support? Lina looked up at me and said, "Aha, yes. I have been so engrossed with this big, bad black swan. I've forgotten to think. You have given me a ray of hope. Now it's time for me to go back and start a discussion with my husband. We may have savings. We may have, oh yes, I have some properties. I should see my real estate agent and see how I can monetize this. What can I do? Depends on me, right?" "Yes," I told Dina. "Let's work together, discuss, share, find out amongst your colleagues in the same business. how you can help each other. Maybe you form a self-support group and move on. We don't have to wallow in the shadows of this big, bad black swan. Let's turn it into that pair of beautiful, elegant swans in this wonderful sunset. We may be in the sunset, and darkness will soon fall on us. But there's always the ray of hope as the new dawn arrives. The sun will shine again. We have hope for us and all humanity. If only we will be brave and courageous enough, resourceful and flexible in facing this big, bad black swan. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. How's the energy today? Yeah! And now we have the next speaker. She is Grishma with Internet Harmony. Internet Harmony, Grishma.
Krishna. Yeah, Krishna.
Thank you for this. I'd just like to begin by saying that future is yet to come. I think everybody knows that, and probably it's not the right way to begin this speech, but I believe that it's important and empowering to know what comes in future for us. So today I'm here to talk something about social internet harmony. So currently, the first thing, like how many of y'all in the morning, what you do is you wake up and the first thing is you look out for your phone, you open a social media app and you'll be like, okay, this. Can you raise your hands like if you do that over here? Okay, thank you for that. And the next question I would like to ask you is, once you open it, do you get a feeling of, wow, this is amazing, I do like this?
Yes.
Do you really?
Wow. Wow. I love
I am not really sure so. So I believe that we are just inbounded into this social media world so much that it has just become a part of our daily life right now. All of us are so much into it, we are busy clicking photos. Most of the time what happens is that we just click photos, we are ready to put it up on Instagram, and next thing what we do is, okay, now is the time I need to write something. So before I could proceed forward, today morning I just read an article just like a few minutes ago. It said that we as humans in the current state are spending almost 7 years of our entire life out of 70 years of lifespan just browsing social media. So that's almost like 10% of our entire lifespan where we are almost clicking photos, and the 90% of the lifespan just goes in writing the story or whatever for the social media platforms. So what's happened today is we all are just engulfed into the internet world. So the pioneers of the internet world believe that internet was built to get us together in harmony, or it could evolve the humanitarian side. But today, has it really done that? Today in 2022, why do we still have hatred? Why do we have so much of confusion online? And we have two personalities today. One is the physical personality, where we say that, okay, we are a particular way, but when we get into the online world, why do we change ourselves? So there is a good part as well as a different aspect to the internet. So I would like to say that today is a time where we need to have an internet harmony. We just can't have advertisements or algorithms which addicts us to a particular platform or to a particular thing. We need something more where the humanitarian side is actually embulbed, or we develop good habits. I'm not really sure if the time the time taken to spend on social media is actually considered as really nice. I mean, when was the last time probably we felt like when we opened a social media app, it's like, wow, this is amazing. Or something like, we found peace or happiness when we opened a social media app. I'm not really sure of. So today the world is gone to such an extent level that we are just browsing. We have forgotten what is around us. Have we really forgotten to live the world around us? Are we really living the world? I know that currently we are in a pandemic and we haven't come out of it completely. Yes, but I believe that today in this pandemic world, I think the people who have got COVID, who have become positive, have really realized that we need our family, we need nature. We just can't sit in one place and we just can't keep browsing the whole time. We need family as well as the nature to take care of us, to go ahead and to have a happy life. I think I would just conclude this by this. And yeah, thank you so much for this.
The next speaker is Aaron White. The New Harmony. The New Harmony, Aaron White.
Hello. What I do here?
Alright.
You see, this is a gesture where every minister do right. Everyone do right. Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. What's the new harmony? Let's think back. Think back. What's the old harmony? Remember the days when we were young. We enjoy all the things, the bird songs, the holidays. Now what happened? COVID came in. We all stopped everything, right? For the last 2 years, we stopped. But now it's a new harmony. Why? The government announced recently, at the end of March, we can have 5 people sit together, and also you do not have to take the ART test, right? You save money, right? Save money. Where's my money? Every day is money. We must think how we keep our money. So what did I do for the last 1 year? When COVID set in, I was very sad. Why very sad? Because all the people are suffering. Everyone was losing his job, not knowing what to do. So what I decided to do? I decided to take up counseling. So the past 1 year, I'm glad that I finished my counseling. I'm a counselor now. Wow, very good. No. When you start a counselor, people say, go and see a psych person, right? Cool. No. Always remember, counseling are there to help you. Number 1, when you have anxiety, like all expecting words to speak, I just stand up to speak when anxiety. We also can help you. Depression. Some of you are stuck in a room for ages. I have a client. Because of COVID, work from home, he become what? Inferior complex because of the environment. He don't dare to go out because what happened? For the past 1 year, the chips, potato, burger, put on the weight. Correct?
Right.
So right now is New Harmony. Now what do I do? For New Harmony, I have written a book.
Wow.
Wow.
Ah, can you see that? Create the path you desire. You see here? This is a Singapore picture. It's taken in where? The bottom park.
Wow.
In the morning. You see in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah? Now what is it? Now next, turn back. What you see?
Board.
A board, yes.
Yes.
Do you know where you're going? Do you guys know where you're going? Somebody just throw a book, right? Ferrari car, 20 years to reach the Ferrari car, right? Earlier picture. Even our Ernest talk about Coca-Cola song, but it's not Coca-Cola. Okay. There's so many things we talk about, money, everything. But most important, we need to know where we're going. Please come and see me. I can listen to you, give you guidance. I don't. Now, what is New Harmony? New Harmony means being a partner with you when you speak. I would like to introduce Rohanna. Please give us that.
A young disciple was practicing a young disciple was practicing his martial arts.
Whoa.
But he kept getting distracted with all the others around him. He tried again. So his master brought him into the deeper side of the forest, where there was a river. And he said, "Look at that river." And what do you see? There are many stones in the river. Do you see the water fighting with the stones? Or do you see the river flowing around it, through it, over it? So be like the river. My talk today is about inner harmony. A lot of us have conflict with everything that we do because we are not harmonized inside us. We have a lot of issues that we need to deal with. And because of that, there is no harmony in us. And how do you find harmony? With the 3 A's. We have to be aware. Then we have to accept that we are not that perfect. And finally, we have to come to agreement within ourselves. And so I want to leave you with inner harmony. When the broken pieces of you combine with the beautiful pieces of you and can live together, you have inner harmony. Thank you.
The next speaker is Y Lee. Harmony. Harmony. Y Lee.
Can you hear with my mask on?
Yes.
Harmony.
If you want, up to you.
Look at that, my wife.
Wow, so handsome.
Harmony. There are two principles to have harmony. The first one, do all you have to agree to. I'll give an example. In 1978, when Deng Xiaoping came to Singapore and meet Lee Kuan Yew, Lee Kuan Yew spoke to him. Deng Xiaoping says, "We want to have the friendship and have economy with Singapore." Lee Kuan Yew told him, "Shut down your broadcasting station telling people of Southeast Asia about communism." Deng Xiaoping, "Give me time, I'll do it." Within 8 months, all the radio station has been taken down. Do what you have agreed to do. That builds trust. If you do not have trust, this world will not have harmony. Trust between nations, trust between your families, trust between friends, and trust between business leaders, people you deal with. If you don't have trust, no harmony. There'll be lawsuits. What harmony you're talking about? The next principle. Do not encroach to the other's personal or their property. For the history of man, countries has been encroaching, conquering one nation after, since the Egyptian time until today. Where's harmony? Now that is a physical encroachment. I'm not talking about mental encroachment. Building propagandas, changing people's behavior, that is encroaching to the personal space. Ernest Chen will not like if I go into his psychic space. He will pick a quarrel with me. Once you do that, you have no trust. When there's no trust, there's no harmony. Look around the world. In last World Speech Day, I gave the same speech. Propaganda destroyed the world. Propaganda is intruding to your personal space individually. And everything is confused. Where is the truth? Where is the trust? When there's no trust, man will fight against man. Why? survival of the fittest. That's what it's all about. So in my short speech, until we promise what we agreed to do, and we don't break that promise, and we don't encroach the other's personal space or physical space, and there's trust, and there will be harmony. So my plea to the world community is follow these two principles. Do what you have agreed to do, and do not encroach into people's property and personal space. Thank you.
Oh, you never say encroach people's wife.
Cannot say that. Cannot say
The next speaker is Derek Wong. The social harmony, Derek Wong.
Thank you very much, audience. Hope I give you a good visual and good auditory sharing.
Derek, go to the right.
Right.
Right. Okay.
That's all.
My topic today is social harmony.
Don't see your handphone lah. See us
I
lah.
checked out some definition. Social harmony is defined as the process of valuing, expressing, promoting love, trust, admiration, peace, harmony, respect, generosity, and equality upon other people in any particular society, regardless of their national origin, weight, marital status, ethnicity, color, gender, race, age, and occupation, etc. It's important because it's vital to the development of and progress of society. In religion, belief, culture, language, observing of human rights and fundamental freedoms for all, regardless of race, language, or religion. Singapore has harmony in our national pledge, regardless of race, language, or religion. What creates social harmony? When everybody understands the same concept of harmony, social harmony, religion harmony, and everybody work towards the actualization of the harmony in the country, society, and human mankind. Elements of social harmony includes peaceful coexistence, feeling of gratitude, selflessness, coordination, fraternity, common good, coordination, and membership. Social harmony is important in our society as it's a peace maintained co-decision when members of society are interrelated with the bond of harmony. Social harmony can be maintained when the people of the society cooperate with each other, develop faith and mutual relation among them. In Singapore, we have many races: Chinese, Indian, Malay, Eurasian, and foreigners. HDB has a policy of social integration. Example, in Chinatown, maybe more Chinese and with a few Malay Indian population. Little India, a lot of Indian in the neighborhood division, and a few Chinese and Malay in Little India HDB. But recently, we noted that the government also mentioned that they will buy back or pay a fair price if you cannot sell your HDB in the HDB integration units. Is there really social harmony everywhere in every country? Is it so? In newspaper Straits Times, it was mentioned that there's racism in Australia where many Chinese go there and study. Even Singapore Chinese send their students to Australia to study. There's racism. Ernest, you study in Australia. Is there racism in Australia?
Of course.
Ernest?
Yes.
There's racism in Australia. Yeah. So in fact, because of this, some Chinese cancel their plans for their children to study in Australia. In fact, also an article a few 12 months plus ago, whereby an American
scolded an old lady, and the old lady used an umbrella to hit the American until he bleed and need to send to hospital. In history, have you heard of the Nazism?
Yes.
Germany killed a lot of the Jews. The Jews are considered powerful people with a lot of money in the olden days, and do not know why the German, because maybe they felt that the Jews were not very good for their integration in society, and therefore they have the humanitarian camp. I call for love and peace among all men on earth. To quote Marriage Harmony, I like to quote the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. The 5 love languages are affirmative words, speak good words for you, to your spouse, to your children, quality time, spending quality time with everyone, receiving gifts, giving gifts to your loved ones, affirmative words, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service. For the husband, you can vacuum the floor for the wife. I think this is one of the wife's favorite requests to the husband. So this is a good tip for all the loving husband. And last but not least, of course, physical touch. For financial quotient, harmony, financial harmony, I got 7 tips. One is God, family, career, power of compounding. Because the $1 compounded every day for 30 days, it can become 5 million at the 30th days. God, family, career, power of compounding. Network equal net worth, health equal wealth, time mastery, travels, and last but not least, legacy. To conclude, let us have peaceful and sustainable resources in the world. Social harmony for Singapore and the world. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Derek. The next speaker is Lawrence Lee,
Yeah.
the significant individual.
Wow.
The significant individual, Lawrence Lee.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy, organizing chair, Dr. Ernest. We are here, peaceful, in harmony, you could say pretty happy, but you know, war is there, out there, there are conflicts, and there are children suffering, orphan, refugees, pain, death in the family. And this is real. You can look around, maybe in some of the social chat, you look at the news, it is there. And the question is, can we do anything? Can I do anything? It's not here. Sometimes just now you just say, we are here, we are quite safe. It doesn't affect us. Does it affect us?
Yes.
Very good. It will. Look at oil price. Eventually, look at currency. Look at all the exchange. So it is not so simple. And the key thing, when I talk about the new harmony, first thing, where is the starting point of the new harmony? It is in us, which is the individual, which some of you already emphasized. But the question is that you ask yourself, can we do anything as an individual? That's the reason why my topic is the significant individual, which means all of you are significant as an individual. Why? Oh, I'm an amputee.
Oh.
How did this happen?
Oh dear.
You help, yeah. Thanks.
Wow. A mighty lady helping
Thanks a lot.
a gentleman.
Why? It is just from a jerk. I was in the hospital 5 months, so I was treated. surgery, and before they flap and say everything's okay, one germ MRI, bad germs enter, and they say if you don't cut it off, germs can travel. Just a germ. That germ is so small, which is like every one of us as an individual, you do play a part and you can be of significant. It's like you casting a stone into a pond of water, you see the ripples. Someone say, where are they? They're in Ukraine. This is NATO, this is Euro, this is Russia. Nothing. Don't forget. If you don't think you have any use, eventually it will come to you. So be clear. So first thing, understand why I say about a significant individual. First thing, you as an individual, how does it start? Please, significant individual. That means every one of you is valuable, significant, special and unique. So the first thing you must know about this is value. Value yourself as that significant individual to take care and keep improving yourself. Because from a small womb, this is what could happen. And in life, it's up and down, there's adversity. How do you handle it? First thing, you value yourself, you take care, you conquer it. I conquer, I overcome it. I was telling people, recently I had COVID, but not quarantine at home, actually in isolation. But the key thing is really, you say, oh yeah, I got COVID, terrible, I'm waiting to die. Nothing, I was there, did they treat me? Nothing, they were just observing, and I came out fine. And I had some friends who just went in, and they kept sore throat, this pain and all that. No, so important really. As a significant individual that you can value yourself, what is your thought, what is your mind? Do you have that mind as that? Don't worry. So I had that because I also got another friend who had it, 40 over years old. He died, very sad, he died. So of course there are things like that, they happen. And it's sad for him because they went to hospital, husband and wife survived, he died, and their children left behind. So whatever it is, number thing, value as an individual. Value your first one, then later value other person as an individual. Because everyone are significant individual. You all are special. So you learn to value, you learn to respect. And the other thing that you need to understand is after you value, please, before anything, peace. Let the peace start with you. And peace means, if you are peace and you are with the new harmony, it's okay. Don't take side. There is no angel. You talk about good and bad. Russia is good and bad. US, NATO, Euro is good and bad. Ukraine is also good and bad. Don't think they are angels. In fact, all of us maybe are bad. How did we have this pandemic? They were playing with chemicals and virus. And this invisible enemy does come. So the most important thing, sometimes it's better, don't take sides and learn and look at it from different perspectives in everything. If you look at a person, good point, bad, in a sense, maybe it's an old film you can remember, good, the bad, and ugly. We have all of that, good, bad, and ugly. So important that. First thing, have the peace in yourself, and the other thing, after you are very clear, steady, you have your inner harmony, the new harmony, to extend and to bring the greater harmony to the world. Love your neighbor. Respect that. And then you will be living this new harmony, starting with yourself, starting with your health, something with your mind, and enjoy your life. Have fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence.
All right, man. Wow.
New harmony begins with me. And the next speaker is Arvinder Singh. Healthy body, Arvinder Singh.
Yeah, that's good.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I'll just tell you a little bit about body and harmony in our body and how we can be healthy. I want everybody to just do some small exercise with me and tell me what you feel about that. Okay. So just bring your hands together in front. Breathe in slowly, slowly, slowly. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and breathe out. Do it 2 more times. Breathe in, 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 and breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Last time. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and breathe out, breathe out. What do you feel?
Good.
Do you feel that you're awake? Do you feel that your lungs get more oxygen?
Yes.
So it was about in December, because I learn yoga and yoga therapy. So in December, I've got somebody approach me that she have some multiple body problems at the age of 65. So I started to think that she was 65 years old. So what should I teach her? Because she's not a young woman. So I just planned a lesson for her where we just do this breathing, then breathing in this fashion, and in this fashion, and then just other more breathing. And then after that, we lay down on the ground and we do breathing with the alternate leg, both leg, and lumbar stretch breathing. And after that, we just do some other tiger's breathing. And after that, we do loosening from our toes, kneecap, move all the body.
Justin is now online.
We make sure that all the joints from the toes all the way to the head, our cervical region, they are all moved. Just we move all the joints. After we move the joints, we just do the spine loosening. That we will just go down and up, and then side, and then rotate and rotate. Everything about 15 times. That's it. I didn't do more than that. 1 week later, she go for a checkup, and she get the report that she no need a cholesterol medicine anymore. Her blood cholesterol level come to the normal. Her diabetes have gone down, and beside that, she reported me she have a cervical pain from many years, and she have gone for acupuncture and she have gone for many other things. Because I was teaching her one exercise for the cervical, back and front, side and side, drop and drop. No rotation, only these 3. Due to that, her cervical pain was left very little. Beside that, she have a double vision, and she find that her double vision is improving. Now, after 2 months, she feel that all her problem are almost gone already. Her double vision is no more. She was already ready to be going for an operation for that, but she no need operation anymore.
Wow.
And what we did is nothing. So then I started this class to bring in more people. Every morning I organize this class from 7:30 to 8:45 or 8:30. So now slowly, because there are working people, so I started a same class, 20 minutes for weekdays, and then followed by another 40 minutes for those who can stay longer. So 7:30 to 7:50, those people join who only have 20 minutes. every one of them have reported after 1 week, everybody of them have reported that they have a lot of changes in their body. Like somebody just reported that he have a kneecap problem from many years, and just with this exercise, after 7 sessions, he can climb the stairs up and come down.
Wow.
And I'm just thinking that I do nothing. I was talking to my teacher also. I do nothing. I only do this much. I doesn't do more than that. But when I look at this, what's the reason for that? Because we need to understand our body is not one. It have a 5 different layers. So what happen is, it's called 5 different sloth. This is our Annamaya Kosha, which is our gross body. But this gross body is nothing if there is no soul and there is no breath. So the soul and the breath is something which makes our body move. If no soul, no breath, this gross body have no meaning. It can just lay down immediately. But now after that, the third layer is our Manomaya Kosha. And in yoga term, our whole body is a mind. The yoga is not considered as a science of body, it is a science of mind. Then the next body is the body of science, which is called Vijnanmaya Kosha. So that means if there is no science of our body, how it works and how our body produces 60 chemicals a day and it need to be released every day. And last one is our Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss body, like you do donations, you help people, that all is come under Anandamaya Kosha. So another thing is that you have a water pipe going straight. If the water is flowing straight in that, the chances of getting that block is very, very hard. Water have very less things to block it. But if it is bending, it will have a blockage is much easier. Our body, all the joints are blocking all the time, and blood is full of minerals, toxins and everything. So when you look at the entire thing, so when we move the joints, all the joints every day, our blood blockage open up. So I just think that because of all these things, they are getting benefits so fast. And another thing is we do exercise at 7:30. So that is a cosmic energy is the best at that time. And we do it when our stomach is empty. And that is what is giving the benefit. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arvinda. Let's take a deep breath.
Yes.
Inhale, peace. Exhale, happiness.
Yeah.
The next speaker is Swana Kalyan. Finding my voice.
Yeah.
Finding my voice, Swana Kalyan.
Thank you, Cindy.
Okay.
Behind?
Oh, good.
Okay. Okay. Just,
So lovely to see you all in person, right?
right. Yeah.
How many of you know or have heard of Daniel Kish? I'll take this off. Daniel Kish. Anyone have heard of him? He is known as the real Batman. He is a human echolocator. Born blind, he learned to make sound to find objects around him. Yes, and he could find and move around and do normal work using that sound feedback. His vision is to help people like him to be able to become normal, go around doing their work without much help. He is an example of a man with no sight, but with a vision to help. Why am I sharing this? Let me share my story. As a young kid and teenage and adult, I grew up listening to what my parents said.
Swarna, this is the correct school to go. Swarna, these are the subjects to study. Swarna, this is the university you're going to go to. Swarna, you're going to marry this man. I was a person with sight, but barely used it. I just followed everyone.
You need more.
I'm not complaining. I had no regrets doing what my parents did. I'm happily married for 28 years, but I'm not sure. But I'm not sure if your husband will say the same thing. And as a young mother, I did the same thing I learned from my parents. But the problem was, my daughter was not like me. She questioned everything I told. And it always ended up in arguments. And who won? Of course she won. She had a way to go. I was at losing ends. Where am I going? And when during one of the O-level times, when she was in O-levels, one day during the argument, she got very upset. And she turned around and asked me, Mom, can you stop doing whatever you're doing? Do you even have a life of your own? Other than us, what do you have? Do you know where you're going? He asked, do you know where you're going? I didn't know where I was going. All I knew was what I had been following. That was a knock on my head. The most terrible thing to happen to a person is to not be blind, but to have eyes but no vision. This is a quote by Helen Keller. And I was living that life. With no vision, just doing things as it was happening. I was a very active person, my friends. I used to do a lot of things. But nothing had a vision, nothing had a goal that I wanted to call my own. It was always about others. This is a quote from this book, Power of Vision and Paradigm Shift, which says that when we have a vision without action is a dream, and an action without vision is pastime. And that was when I realized, what am I doing? My daughter turned out to show me my life. She turned out to tell me, look into yourself. Find yourself first. I went back to my book, to my dreams, old dreams. I went back to see what all I wanted to do in life. And one thing kept coming back again and again. What came up was that I enjoyed being with people. And whenever people were around me, a common thing that came was people found that I had a good listening ear. It is habit, right? From my parents to now, I have been listening, right? So that became my strength, that I had a listening ear. I could understand people. I could understand their problems. And I unknowingly was motivating them, inspiring them to be a better person, while I wasn't even making an attempt. And that was my calling. I found my voice. A voice to use to help people, to motivate them, and to inspire them to be their best, to find their purpose. And that became my purpose late in life, but better late than never, right?
Yes,
so
right.
I'm here today,
good. Stay on.
very happy that I have found my voice. I set small goals. I look for a positive and a good environment to showcase my skills. And thanks for others today. I'm here to share my story. I'm sure there are many of them like me who don't have a purpose, I want to inspire them to say, find your purpose.
Correct.
I will help you to find your purpose. Because I have walked that path and I know how it is. So that is my story. And what do I do from here? Today we are talking about harmony. And I believe that communication is the most important part of all life skills that we have. And friends, like how you speak and I speak, we all speak differently. And how do we understand each other? I realize to be culturally aware is important. To be aware of, we had the first story where he said, I didn't understand why someone took away my plates. Whereas in France, it was means get out, right? So to be culturally aware becomes important. So I want to champion the cause of cultural communication or cultural awareness in communication so that we can have less war and more peace. The reason why we have wars is because we don't communicate. We don't want to listen to the other person, or we listen differently. So let us have harmony in this world by learning to understand, learning to listen, and to tell properly. So let us together find our voice.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sana. When there is no vision, there is no hope.
So nice.
The next speaker will be speaking via Zoom, and he is Justin Dylan Pella. A new harmony in technology. A new
Hi, Justin.
harmony in
Hello.
Justin from Australia.
Hi, Justin. Hello. Yay.
Hello to all. A very good afternoon to all guests and Toastmasters joining right there in person and wherever you are watching around the world online. Today, I'd like to share my World Speech Day speech on a new harmony in technology. But first of all, what is harmony? Let me define it. Online, it can be defined in a few different ways. Harmony, the combination of simultaneous sounded musical notes. In human value, harmony is usually identified as a human value, referring to compatibility and accord in feelings, actions, relationships, opinions, and interests. It denotes a state of balance among forces influencing and even opposing one another. However, a new harmony in technology, as we're moving through the era of different technologies out there. Going back to the start of the pandemic, when we all were trying to get used to the platform I'm joining on now, Zoom. The struggles and the hiccups we all had when we had public speaking Toastmaster Club meetings. However, over time, we all adapted to technology in learning to live in harmony together virtually. And it's taught many of us so much to use technology to our fullest advantage. Before the pandemic, I would probably say not many of us were even prepared to come on to this online world, with many still doing things the old-fashioned ways. Not digitally, but physically instead. However, over these 2 years, it's changed everyone. And today, we need to learn to adapt to living in a new harmony in the new technology era. We must be better prepared for future events like the COVID pandemic to what may happen later on down the track. However, When using these online technologies, Zoom, or broadcasting to YouTube via Zoom, online platforms like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, we must use it in a manner that is very positive to what we're going to be doing on those platforms. During the pandemic, when people were online, there was, of course, scams out there, and also the cause of hatred towards people, blaming this race for spreading the virus. And that's causing disharmony. We should not use platforms such as the social media platforms I mentioned and internet to post things that are disharmony. We should all remember to be living in harmony. Living in harmony, as I was just saying before in the definition. The actions we take to what we post online. Post the right things that are going to make a positive impact to people, not negative impacts. Opinions and interests. Opinions are fine to post, but always back up what you post online, because when you post something online that is not backed up with information, this is where disharmony comes in and cause people to spread fake news online that in the end doesn't do any good for anyone and causes conflicts. Just like around the world right now. Around the world, such as Russia and Ukraine, where, of course, everyone knows what's happening. And on top of that, with what's happening online, there's that disharmony information out there. Ladies and gentlemen, my point of a new harmony in technology is this. We can all learn to continue to adapt to technology we all use today. But at the same time, use technology to your advantage and not use it to a disadvantage for your own entertainment purposes or posting things that are not meant to be out there, which is going to cause hatred and disharmony information. Let's all live with harmony together online in a safe way. Back to you.
Great job, Justin.
Yay!
Thank you.
The next speaker is Jeff Ban Peng. When does time begin?
Thank you.
Okay, switch on the light. You can see it.
Yes. Organizing Chairman, Professor Chin Kok Wing.
Yeah.
President, Dr. Ernest Chen. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 scenarios, you tell me which is the most dangerous. South China Sea contest. China versus Vietnam, Indonesia, Brunei and Philippines. Number 1. Number 2, Russia, Ukraine. Number 3, Israel versus Palestine. Which is the most dangerous?
Number 1.
Number 1. Who say number 1? Raise the hand.
Yay!
2 out of 20. Who say number 2? 2 again. 2 versus 2. Who say number 3?
One more time.
One more time.
I say number 4.
Number 4. Any who will not raise your hand no matter what I ask? Roslyn is one of them. I tell you, none of the above.
That's why we didn't raise our hand.
Why none of the above?
Everything of the above.
Everyone is dangerous. and you're always put in this position to cause disharmony, you are either with us or against us. These are all the fake choices. If you want to solve this problem, you got to understand what's my topic.
When does time begin?
You must know when does time begin. Example, why are the Palestinians and the Israelis fighting?
Oh, thousands of years.
To the Israelis and the Palestinians, the land of Israel is artificially created after World War II.
1948.
1948. To the Palestinians, it's their land, but the Allied forces won the war and give it to them. To them, no. To the Israelis, time began when the line on the sand is drawn, and so it's our land, given to us by United Nations.
Promised land.
Right? So the battle cannot be fought and won because nobody understood when the time began. To the Israelis, 2,500 years ago, Moses got the message from God. And that is a promised land. They risked their life, traveled out of Egypt, crossed the Red Sea, and 40 years wandering in the desert before they come to the promised land. So it is their land. That's when time began. Right? But to the Palestinians, we've been occupying this land continuously for so long. Before the Allied forces drew the line on the sand and said it belonged to Israel and the Jews. Right? Depending on your idea of when the time begin, then the solution is there. Same for South China Sea. To the Philippines who won the case in the World Court, time began when? After the Second World War. Again, the Allied forces gave certain islands to the Philippines without consulting China. They consulted Taiwan. They recognized Taiwan. So time began then. But to the Chinese, time began thousands of years ago.
Emperor Qing Ho.
Admiral Qing Ho, like Lawrence said. Right? We were ruling the waves for thousands of years. How can in 1942 or 45, right? They start dividing up. Did time begin after the Second World War, or did time begin thousands of years ago? Same. If you look at your Chinese Kung Fu movie, 我要报仇, right? You kill my father, so I'm going to kill you, right? And the children of that generation will kill the children of the other side. And the children of their children will fight and kill the other children. Why? Your father killed my family, right? No, before my father killed your father did something wrong first. So when did time begin? We'll decide who is a good guy, what's a bad guy. Same, not only Chinese Kung Fu, you talk about you and your wife at home.
When the time begin?
When did time begin?
The first
Right?
quarrel.
It's always you ignore me first. You didn't cook dinner for me first. You gonna look at the other girl first. Who did wrong first? When did the time begin? If we do not understand the nature of the problem, my brothers and sisters, the problem can never be solved. Right? If you look at our great Stanley Gold, he can play badminton 2 times a week. Isn't he great?
Yeah.
More than 60 years old. But that's not good enough. Ernest Chen, 75 years old, do twice a day. 30 years ago. So when did time begin? Right? If you don't understand that, no problem can be solved. If you understand that, we can all live in perfect harmony.
That's right.
Okay, so what is the most important question, my friends?
The time.
When did time begin?
No beginning.
because time keep moving. There's no beginning, there's no end.
Yes.
Live in harmony. Forgive everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Bambing. Live in the present. The next speaker is Stanley Mark. Thrive in the digital revolution.
Yay!
Thrive in the digital revolution, Stanley Mark.
Wow. You all better pay attention. It took me 3 years to get him to 3 years now, my friend.
You are very patient.
Wow. Okay, Ben, behind a bit.
Okay.
Behind a bit. Wow.
Wow, it is amazing, Chairman, organizing Chairman. It is certain. It is really a sort of experience for me. I have to tell you a fact. Who is my speaking master, the Shifu of mine? It's Xi Jinping. If I do well, all the credits go to him. If I don't do well, blame him. It is amazing to be here, and I make it a point to come here to support Dr. Ernest Chan, who I respect a lot. I want to talk about something which is very close to my heart. All of us, regardless of age, now have to deal with digital technologies all the time. But this is a frightening topic to many of our friends who are over 45, 55. But I have to tell you one thing. All of you can do it. It's a matter of your mind. If you believe that you can do it, you can. Why? Because God has given to all of us a supercomputer. Everything that you want to learn about digital technologies is available on the internet. And you may think that it is hard for us to do that because we didn't grow up with that kind of environment. But on the other hand, nowadays, can we say that we can't use any technologies? Absolutely nonsense, in my opinion. Every single day we do. I have to thank COVID-19 for making this happen. You know, a lot of friends of mine who used to be so afraid of using technologies are now getting into technology every single day. If you know how we cope with all these changes, is the fact that whenever you're frightened to learn something, face it, learn it, master it, use it. That is the only way to do it. At the end of the day, you may wonder what I'm doing. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm not a computer engineer, but I've been running a digital marketing company for more than 20 years.
Wow, so long.
Yes, and I have been working with people who are only below 30. And I teach them exactly what to do. Now you'll be amazed how we can do it. Every single day we embrace technologies. Every day we learn new things all the time. And nowadays we don't even talk about the internet at all. Why? Because there are many new things that are popping up. NFT is the call of the day. Digital, currencies, cryptocurrencies. We don't even talk about buying bitcoins. We are talking about using AI to trade. You don't lose money. The chance of losing money will be very low if you don't know how to do it. Then we are now in the process of using NFT for marketing. Metaverse. How do we use metaverse? I can assure you one thing. If metaverse is going to happen like what Zuckerberg has been telling us, next year or the year after, this event will happen in the metaverse. You don't have to come here. Everything is there. Anyone remember there's a term that happened about 10, 15 years ago, is called Second Life. Have you ever used Second Life? Have you? None of you have.
I mean, my third life.
Second Life. As a matter of fact, Metaverse is a new version of Second Life that happened about 10, 15 years ago.
Who created the word, this word?
You mean Metaverse? Metaverse.
Who created?
I think
Stanley Mark.
Facebook publicized it. So it becomes a really common
Like
term.
that,
But Second Life was so wonderfully interesting. If you have the opportunity to go into Second Life, that was about 10, 15 years ago.
2003.
Yes, it is. I went into this and I had so much fun there. But you have to know that I'm not a computer engineer. And I'm not young.
You are, you're what?
Huh?
You are what? You are God.
No. As a matter of fact, the point I'd like to make, especially for people who are over 40, 45, don't be frightened. Go in. Whatever you do on the computer won't kill you, won't kill the computer. A lot of people keep saying, oh, I'm going to screw up the computer. No, you won't. The computer is very robust. You can learn. You must remember, whatever that you want to learn is always there on the internet. Number one. Number two is when the teacher is ready, when the student's ready, the teacher is on the internet. With that, go ahead to learn anything that you want, and you will be able to thrive in the digital revolution.
And
Thank
live in
you.
harmony.
Finished, is it?
Thank you, one and all. We have come and concluded the first segment of the day, and we are going into intermission. Let's have a break for 1 hour and be right back.